Hey everybody, this is Cholera, and I'm with my man from the East Coast, Rise. We actually just hung out at a pub last weekend. We were chilling and talking about how Jaedong is awesome, and we're going to be watching right now Jaedong in the first game in the finals of CJ Entus versus Hwasunaz of the Winners League 2009. And this is going to be a Winners League format, and here we're going to have a Zerg versus Zerg. CJ putting their new rising star effort up against Jaedong. Now the thing is, Jaedong is playing a ZVZ, which obviously he is the best in the world at, but if he loses, I think Oz is actually, with the loss of 4GG to KTF, Oz might actually be lacking in players, so they're putting up Jaedong, the big gun, first, just like they did against KTF, but I don't know, this should be interesting, Rise. What happened the last time these two met? I think you casted that game, right?
Yeah, definitely did, and you know what? It was an exciting game. Effort played well, but in the end, he went up against Jaedong, the Zerg killer, and Jaedong just in ZVZ, he's unstoppable. Nobody ever seems to be able to beat him. He's got a ridiculous win rate. So effort, even though he put up a great effort, he just didn't have enough, and Jaedong was able to take it out. So again, I would imagine that Jaedong, of course, because he is who he is going to be able to take this match from effort and at least move on to the second match, playing for Leikaf Oz. Or no, not Leikaf. Sorry, Hwaseong Oz. I forgot they changed their name. But really, what can effort do? They put up. I think they both put up one of their better players. Oz putting up their best player, and CJ putting up one of their better players. But I think that Jaedong is just going to start this off very early and start knocking the players out. I don't think that, especially in ZVZ matchups, I don't think that Jaedong will lose.
I think that's definitely very true that he hardly ever loses. But Jaedong here in the red Zerg and effort as the blue Zerg here. We're seeing shots of these two players. Of course, this is a special outside arena for them. Unfortunately, Firebat Hero though is not going to be in attendance today. Khan did very poorly in the Winners League, so perhaps no off the stage dancing, no jumping to the ocean or anything like that. Anyway, Jaedong at the upper right here on a new fresh wind and a bright moon, Neo Harmony, and effort at the bottom left. Now, the reason why Jaedong and effort was such a hyped match, oh my, what the hell, was because effort at that point was actually at 80% himself. ZVZ. He was very, very, very good against pretty much everyone he met. Of course, admittedly with a much smaller total number of games, so statistically, of course, it's less significant. But at the time, people thought that he would be the best challenger against Jaedong, and it was a close game on Medusa. We actually cast it, you and I, Rise, and he put up a very strong fight. So I worry for Oz if Jaedong loses, because who are they going to call? They've got Haya, who's very good, and then they got Lomo, and they got Backho, and Backho's back is still injured. So, this could be disastrous for them if Jaedong loses. But anyway, it looks like Jaedong starting off with a 12 pool here at the upper right, and we might be seeing a 12 hatch. In fact, we're going to be seeing a 12 hatch from effort. So effort is going to pick a bit of a, well, actually no. It looks like it was just a slightly later pool. So I guess Jaedong went for the 12 pool, and effort might have gone for one more drone or something. But looks like they're going to start off pretty similarly, and both are probably going to expand afterwards.
Yeah, it looks like he just decided to wait for both of his drones just to have enough money so he could build both spawning pool and extractor at the same time. Looks like Jaedong, though, is going to go 12 hatch into, 12 pool into expansion, and it looks like, no, I thought effort was going to do the same, but effort appears to be, actually, he is doing the same. I thought he was actually going for a drone scout as well. Maybe he had something up his sleeve, but no, that is not the case. He is also going to go for a hatch, expansion hatchery. So this is going to be very interesting. This is a very, not exactly mirror build, very close though, as close as you can get without them being the same. And so really, I can't imagine what player they're going to be. What player is going to really have an advantage here other than Jaedong being Jaedong, of course. Look at effort, man. His APM is ridiculous. Look at him just bouncing back and forth with his hotkey spam. His screen is blinking. It's going to give me a seizure if he doesn't stop it. Jaedong has 6 lings already. It looks like he's going to go out around the map, try to scout around, see what he can find out. His teammates watching on with anticipation, trying to probably rooting on their teammate effort. And Effort also has Lings coming out. So, again, both players very even at this point, and they're going to just be able to find out where the other player is finally. The cross-map positions is huge, especially when they're going the same build like this, expansion, because now they'll probably both be able to get it up and running and even get that second gas going by the time they need it for those mutas. And so this may go into the late Zerg game for all I know, because of the distances in the map. And this could be what Effort needs to make sure that he can even out the Jaedong advantage.
I would respectfully disagree. Remember what we said before, Jaedong is the master of Mutalisk and Scourge, so Effort is basically committing himself right now inadvertently to playing a late game with Jaedong, which has got to be the scariest thing in the world. I mean, next to climbing K2, playing ZVZ with Jaedong when he's got Mutalisk, it's up there. It's definitely worse than climbing Everest. Maybe K2 is slightly more scary though, but anyway, looks like Effort gonna lose a drone actually. Just Jaedong goes in, just snipes off a drone, and with just 2 lings, and he's still alive inside of Effort's base. That's kind of a mistake by Effort. And Effort wasn't able to get in the front for Jaedong in terms of Jaedong's base. Both players have gone for the same kind of use of gas, so they went for Lair first, I believe, and then Speed, and both of them have Spires up at the same moment. So both players right now seem to be in a similar position, but Effort is actually down a little bit. I think he's down 1 drone and possibly another drone at some point, because Jaedong may have produced slightly fewer Zerglings. We'll have to see though, and Effort really, I feel like he needs to get a good attack off before Jaedong gains that automatic superiority he gains once he gets air.
Now, you're probably right with that assumption of Jaedong and the Muta. I just thought that maybe he'd be able to pull something out, but already he definitely is behind. I mean, he's got 1 or 2 less drones. He's got 1 less at his expansion. Although he may have some sort of Ling advantage, I don't think that it's anything that'll win the game for him. Looks like he is heading over to Jaedong's base at this time. No, it looks like he's turning around and deciding to go a different direction. But all this means is Jaedong has more and more time for his Mutas to pop out to help with defending against any Ling rush well, I wouldn't call it a Ling rush, but mass Ling build. But now Jaedong has a very significant Ling force of his own. They're in a good position. They're right in front of his base. He can get behind that hatchery, use it to his advantage if he needs to. And I mean, Effort, all he's doing right now is he's trying to run around, try to maybe get Jaedong a little off guard, and he instead of sneaking a whole bunch of lings, he sneaks 1 ling into the base,
Only
which
1.
I'm a little surprised. I really thought he had a nice little flank coming out there. It looks like he may actually get a drone. No, he doesn't. Very close, and Jaedong going to save that drone though. And again, I mean, now you're right. This really is going to the late game. Effort now trying to break up the ramp, but it's not going to happen. Jaedong is already up the ramp. He's going to try to take out a drone over there, but again, Jaedong prepared. Jaedong with great micro, able to protect all of his drones, and now the Muta are out. So maybe now we're going to see if Effort has improved in his own Mutalist micro, or Jaedong truly is still the king.
Yeah, one of the small X factors that in this game are the position of the Overlords also, something we generally don't talk about, but if one of the Zerg players can snipe off a couple of Overlords without losing any of their own, they can gain a significant advantage here at this point when their Mutalists just come out. So I think a couple of the Overlords have been spotted of Jaedong's by Effort, so Effort might decide to go for them. On the other hand, Jaedong, of course, loves to go for Overlords in the beginning too. You really slow down your opponent that way in Zerg versus Zerg, and it's a great help to you. I was surprised that Effort didn't have more lings. That's a Savior-esque move, and obviously Savior is on Effort's team, CJ Entus. Savior loves to do that, to distract and then infiltrate with a group of lings in an amazing flank attack. That's how he wins his Zerg versus Zergs. He's not the fastest player, but he's one of the smartest. And right now we're seeing Effort, he could have done that, I think, and that would have been spectacular. Anyway, looks like both players just going for a position game here. Effort might try to take down this Overlord, and it looks like he's going to be dancing, keeping his speed up as he's microing, but he runs away, seeing Jaedong's Mutalisk coming out. He's afraid to attack, and Effort gets 2 lings inside of Jaedong's base. Is exactly what he needs to do. Most likely, he's been training with Savior, the best Zerg on their team, of course, or in my opinion, at least the best Zerg on their team. Historically, the best Zerg on their team, absolutely. And, most likely, we're going to be seeing Savior in this series also, for all you Savior fanboys out there. Of course, that should be very exciting. And Jaedong's managed to sneak 1 ling into Effort's base. He's not going to see anything spectacular, though. He's just making sure there's not too many drones or, some extra hatchery or something like that going up, although most likely he'd be able to tell from the unit counts about that. So right now, both players very, very close, and it's going to be about positioning, which I gotta predict Jaedong's going to have a slight advantage in.
You know, I keep seeing this. It looks like Jaedong just has another extra drone or two on the minerals. I don't know if that's exactly the case or not. It's hard to count with them moving around the screen, but wow, look at that. Look at all the Scourge that Effort has out. He's like, well, Jaedong can micro 1 or 2, but can he micro 12? I don't know. I mean, that's going to be tough. And at the very least, it's a great distraction. Again, looking at Savior, the one of the Zerg kings of his day. I mean, they probably know that. Effort probably knows that Jaedong is great at micro against Scourge, but if he uses those Scourge to distract those Muta enough so that they have to micro them, he may be able to attack the other front, one of the 2 fronts of his base. He could either go to the mineral line and try to do damage there while the Scourge keep Jaedong off balance, or maybe he'll try to attack them all at once with both the Scourge and the Muta, cloning them as best he can anyway, and try to take out Muta while he's attacking with his own. I mean, those are both the typical things that players tend to do with Scourge, but I mean, at this point, Effort, he has a ton of Scourge, but he's not using them. I guess he's trying to build up his Muta, but as he builds up more and more Muta, Jaedong's obviously building up more and more Muta as well, and that Scourge advantage slowly dissipates, slowly disappears, and I'm a little surprised that he builds so many, and they're just sitting there. It looks like that guy is ridiculous looking, and Jaedong is just going to kind of start moving in, and he's got plenty of Scourge of his own, and I mean, they're a really nice flying V grouping, and now taking out an Overlord, straggling Overlord very quickly, and here we go, a lot of Scourge landing on Jaedong, but now Effort gonna have a lot hitting him as well, and Jaedong, I don't know if he's come out ahead or not. It looks like he has come out ahead, and now Effort, I think, is in a lot of trouble here already, and this is gonna be a battle to the bitter end for one of these 2 players.
Yeah, it looks like Effort bringing his Lings there, just trying to catch some of the bouncing glaives. He needs to do everything possible to try to gain advantage, but he's definitely short on Mutalisk right now. He's got 4, Jaedong's probably got 8 in there, and this is just the power of Jaedong. His Scourge came in and just were cloned perfectly, coming and striking Effort from behind. Everyone was probably cloned to a separate Mutalisk to make all of them weak or kill them, not even 2 to 1. And right now, Jaedong right now has free control over this natural expansion. Effort also facing a little bit of Ling pressure. Effort's probably trying to make some Scourge right now, but I gotta think that Jaedong's gonna be able to micro against these Scourge successfully, and he does. He loses. I guess he gets hit once by a Scourge, but that's gonna be it here. Effort going for that desperation attack now with his Zerglings, but I gotta think this is over at this point. Jaedong knows this is coming, and he's well prepared, as you can see there. He's gonna have Mutalisks to help him. He's already killed all the drones at the natural expansion of Efforts, and this is just the power of JD. And I certainly hope that, well, I certainly hope that they don't send another Zerg. They don't send Savior out next, because the way that he's playing right now, he'll get torn apart. GG coming from Effort. So right now, I mean, odds picking up the first game very easily. You guys should check out Jaedong versus Hero for some other, I'll just say, spectacular performances from the man JD here. And right now, I think what in my opinion CJ needs to do is put up a strong Terran player, basically put up a Iris, put up Iris. Jaedong's slight weakness, if he has one, is against Terran. It's slightly weaker than his ZVP or ZVZ, and I think that's CJ's best chance of trying to knock him down, so that they have a chance at the soft underbelly of Hwasun Oz, which is its other players, basically.
I agree, man. And Jaedong with his Ultraless armor in ZVZ matchups, I mean, he's just going to be, like you said, way too difficult for anyone to take down. So let's go see it. Let's go see who they put up next, because it's starting off with a lot of action here, a fast-paced ZVZ game, and I can only imagine that we're going to see more of that in the coming games. Can't wait.
All right, GG. Stay tuned.